Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Carl. I'm a recovery coach here at CAP Recovery Center. This is our Freedom Fridays meeting for the day. I want to let everybody know Happy New Year. The article I have here is Embracing Life on Life's Terms. Life is a remarkable journey, a winding path filled with moments of joy, sorrow, triumph, and challenges. It's a journey that looks different for everyone and often surprises us with the unique rhythm of twists and turns. Life is not a destination. There's no finish line or point to reach. Instead, it's a series of unpredictable events and circumstances. The unexpected setbacks, surprises, and moments of happiness contribute to the richness of our experiences. And those life experiences create who we are. They shape our identity and define who we are as well as who we want to be. Recovery teaches you to handle life on life terms. It's celebrating the wins and embracing the losses. It's not always sunshine and rainbows. Those difficult experiences can shape a richer life experience because it gives the opportunity to greater awareness and further growth than the good moments oftentimes begin to feel brighter and brighter. The good moments give us a sense of hope that you can hold on to when things get tough. And it talks about embracing life on life's terms. And I know something I couldn't, in active addiction is something I was running from and I couldn't, not have to cope with or deal with is life on life terms, because my life consists of using drugs and alcohol and avoiding a life, avoiding my problems and avoiding the situations that I was in. And life is unpredictable, and we don't know when that curveball is going to come, because it talks about it can be ups and downs and even flows through life, and so recovery has taught me to stay in position and hold on, because things are going to get good, things are going to get bad, things are going to get tough, but I know at the end of the day, I don't use no matter what, right? So recovery has taught me how to have better coping skills, have support systems. I can deal with, my feelings and emotions and, talk with other recovering addicts. Instead of going to what I thought was the solution of, using drugs and alcohol was the solution for everything. In the long run, it just made life worse. And, I didn't know how to cope with life, and that's one of the ways I did cope was through using. And that came with a lot of pain, a lot of suffering, not just for me, but for my family, my friends. And so the people that are in my network of my support system and stuff like that show me how to live and deal with life on life terms. They support me, they help me, they guide me. And, we need people like that in our lives, because things are going to get tough, and what do I do when them things arise? So I have healthy outlets, right? Recovery can be a holistic. So there's yoga, meditation. For me, I like to go fishing. So there's things that I do, for self-care and for my well-being, when things get stressed out or get tough and, when I get overwhelmed, there's things that I can do to better myself and better my life. But like I said, at the end of the day, I just don't use. It says life gets lifey rather than fight that. Why not? Why not embrace it? Life is complex and throws many curveballs that we are not often prepared for. But the beauty of life in recovery, as oddly as it sounds, is we now get to live life on life terms. We don't do it perfectly and stumble along the way. Sometimes, but embrace that imperfection and use it to build on rather than let it tear you down. I can the things that I go through life and can be tough. I can grow from them. We can grow from the pain, right? And I don't define who I am to based off my past, right? My past is my past, and who I am today is totally different than I was. So and the things I've been through, like yeah, I don't hold on to that stuff anymore. Through the recovery process, it has built me stronger. It just I was a learning curve of first and foremost I had to stop using drugs and alcohol, right? But getting the professional help that I needed, right? And a lot of the articles that we read and a lot of things that we talk about in recovery, getting the medical and professional treatment that we do need, depending what we struggle with. Like I said, it can be from mental health to substance abuse. Um, so we really got to get the help that we need, and it can be different for everybody. So I had to go to like detox, then the inpatient, then aftercare. So that's something I had to do for me, and that's self care, right? I had to learn how to love myself, so I can be present and I can enjoy life. That's what for me today is about enjoying life without using drugs and alcohol. As before, I was just existing. I was just surviving. I wasn't actually living. I was avoiding and running away from all my problems and didn't want to deal with reality. And I just didn't know how to deal with life on life terms. I didn't know how to be a productive member. I didn't know how to be a son. Right? I didn't know how to be a brother or a friend. So recovery has taught me to, how show me a new way to live. I had to let go of the old Carl and the bad behaviors that came along with using drugs and alcohol. That's a work in progress. That stuff just doesn't go away. Just something I continue to build on and I learn from. I am human first. We're all humans. We're not perfect. We just strive to get better. But dealing with life on life terms and not resorting back to using in substance. It gives day by day, it gives you more hope, right? And then hope turns into faith, and like I can have faith that I can continue this journey of recovery and not have to go back to using drugs and alcohol ever again. That's something is um, just a part of my past. So I can just continue to do the right thing for the right reason and keep building on that. As humans, we have a strong ability to adapt and grow. On my own journey, I was handed many difficult circumstances that I let get me down for many years. I faced moments of immense loss and faced many times, and that those circumstances have made me who I am today. And for that, I'm grateful. Our biggest setbacks can become our greatest assets. We are given many moments to forgive, learn, and grow, but it's up to us to take those moments for what they are. Looking back on the chaos that was my early life, I was able to discover unexpected moments of clarity and purpose. These moments remind me that even in the most turbulent times, there is the potential for growth, learning, and finding meaning. This doesn't mean that what happened was okay or acceptable, but it allows me to move along the journey of life with less bumps along the road. Yeah, we can learn from and from our past and the pain that I endured, and I think many of us, we can build on that. Like I'm grateful for my past, because like I said earlier, I made me the person who I am today, and I wouldn't change that for anything. But I can learn to take this opportunity to change and grow uh, through the things that I've been through. Through all the pain and suffering and all the chaos and all the stuff that came along with addiction. Um, I can use it for good today. It's about passing along to another recovering addict. Letting them know there is hope. Like I've been there, I've done it. I've seen it. Now it's about the solution. But what are we doing from this point on? We can't change what happened, right? But we can, move forward and we can continue to work on ourselves and do things differently, because I always say life is short. You know, it seems like the life on life terms can get challenging. It can get real challenging. And for me, it's kind of the little things. I was just reading an article the other day, um, looking through, getting something for the meeting, and it's like the little stuff that can start building up to be something big. It can be frustrating dealing with it day in, day out. Same thing, the routine of um, just little things. You get me upset and get me frustrated and get me feel overwhelmed. Because like if I'm not working a program or if I don't have tools in my toolbox, if I don't have good coping skills, right? Little things can start to get to us, and you start to see our behaviors can change, right? Our personalities can change due to like not working on ourselves. Right? I can see myself coming more today, as before I wasn't aware. I had a sense of knowledge that I had a problem, but I wasn't fully aware of like I just didn't have a drug problem. Like I have a weed problem too. Like if I thought if I just stop using drugs and alcohol, I would get better, and I have. But it takes work, and that's about dealing with life on life terms. And when life throws us things, what do we do um, to move forward from this? And it can be challenging. Let's see here. It says, in a world that can sometimes feel overwhelming and unpredictable, the phrase life gets lifey serves a reminder that life's unpredictability is what makes it beautiful and worth living. I often have to remind myself when things get tough and when they get good as well of where I came from. This reminds me of the strength and courage it takes to embrace life's journey. Yeah, I have to remind myself like how far have I come? Like I came a long way, because I know I'm my worst enemy, I'm my worst critic. I can beat myself up the most, so like looking back on it from, 7.5, almost 7.5 years ago, where my life was and where I'm at today, it's two different people. It's two different lives. And that's all dealing with life on life terms, being a productive member of society, having healthy relationships, taking accountability, being reliable, being trustworthy. But recovery has gave me that, and the people in my support network, right? And doing the things I do for myself in recovery, and it's not a one size fit all. You'll hear that a lot in recovery. Like, everybody's needs are different, and we all have different challenges. So, but we have to find something that works for us, and and that's what we do. We support people no matter where they're at in life, because we never know where our help's going to come from. So we have to support you through your journey, and whatever that case may be. What works for me might not work for you, but I know throughout the years I started to pick up little bit pieces of everybody's recovery process, and that I just mold it to my own, and it works for me. I go to 12-step meetings. I have a sponsor. I have a home group. I have a God of my understanding. So there's things that I do for my recovery that I continue to do so I can deal with life on life terms. I couldn't just stop using drugs and alcohol and think I'm going to be able to live life on life terms. It just didn't work for me that way. I had to work on myself and get through all the baggage and stuff, that the guilt and the shame and all that stuff I was holding on to. I started to shed that off in recovery. I can't, my past and the stuff that happened doesn't serve me well today in the present, right? So um, I have to continue to be humble. I have to continue to, remain grateful, and keep being aware of. I continue to work on myself, and it talked about here. Recovery is not a destination, right? This is a lifelong process. Yeah, I have to continue to do this on a daily basis for the rest of my life, and I couldn't get with that. In early recovery, I could not get with that because like it was hard for me to like I had the obsession. I had the desire can get in the way. Having that monkey on our back, as I say, and I couldn't understand, and I couldn't see myself without using drugs and alcohol. I told myself like I can't use anything, and I just couldn't get with that. I couldn't understand, and but the longer I stayed here, um, and the more I worked on myself, the more I seen that it was doable. It was doable for me. Like days turned to weeks, weeks turned to months, months turned to years. So like little by little, I started to see myself change. I started to see myself grow. And the brightest thing is I didn't use. I didn't use. And I listen for me, my personal story and experience. I had a lot of challenges in early recovery, and still to this day. But like in early recovery, like I had a lot of stuff going on, right? And things that you would think you would use over, right? But I didn't. I didn't use, and that gave me more hope. What the life has given me, and the life's challenges has given me room for change and growth. This happened, I didn't use. This happened, I didn't use. I would use that as excuses. I would use everything as an excuse to use, and I seen the hope, and like I continue to stay here. So I just continue to do the right thing for the right reasons, and I started to change and I started to grow. Says embracing the twists and turns, the ups and downs is not just an acceptance of reality, but an active celebration of the human experience. It's a call to live with resilience, adaptability, and open heart, ready to welcome whatever life has in stored. So as we navigate the unpredictable journey of life, let's do so with grace, courage, and unwavering appreciation for the beauty chaos that defines our existence. Yeah, man, let's enjoy and embrace life. That something that I was not enjoying. I was not participating. Everything revolved around me, what I wanted, how I wanted it, when I wanted it. So like I was like running my own show. I was going through life. I was causing a lot of pain, a lot of suffering. I wasn't willing to listen. I wasn't willing to have healthy relationships. I didn't want to hear what you had to say. It was all about me. Now like reality set in, like, and that's all through stop using drugs and alcohol. Like I was so clouded and denial and distorted, and I had to be free from substance, all substance, and reality started to sink in. Like life is short, and life is precious. Like we only have one, and I took it for granted. I took life for granted. I took everything and everyone around me for granted. So like this last time when I went to treatment, I really gave myself a break. I really gave myself a chance to heal and deal, and gave myself a chance without using, and I actually found out I had a lot of assets. I was actually a good person. I was actually hard worker, reliable, accountable, trustworthy, loving and caring, stuff that I wasn't for many, many years. Didn't think I was capable of, so, the best thing I can give for someone today, and like I said, it's a new year, is give yourself a chance, give yourself a break, give yourself an opportunity to get past your past, and deal with it, and have a solution today, not using drugs and alcohol. that stuff doesn't work. It didn't work for me, and it didn't work for many others, right? It just caused more pain, more suffering. And we think about, like, we use, oh, I'm just hurting myself. I'm not hurting no one else. This is my life. And that's is selfish and self-centered. And we hurt a lot of people, that love and care about us. So we have to get out of that selfishness, and we have to do that on a daily basis. So, but that was our Freedom Fridays meeting for the day, embracing life on life's terms. Man, and life is full of challenging, but I know I can get through anything without using drugs and alcohol today. So today is a gift, and it's definitely a new year. My name is Carl, I'm the recovery coach here at Capital Recovery Center. Until next time, we'll see you later.